All right, so let's take a look at a Java doc together. So first I'm going to show you how to navigate to the Java doc. It's as simple as just Googling the name of the class and then put Javadoc at the end. You can certainly navigate to the Oracle website. They have a documentation site called docs.oracle.com, and that'll have the entire documentation for all their standard libraries. But it's easier just right to Google to where you're looking for. So if you see the Java doc here, it can be a little bit uh, technical, right? A little bit verbose, kind of not beginner friendly. So I highly recommend when you're first using a class, you could do file class and then type in W3. So W3 is a really awesome website for beginners. So they'll have similar documentation for the Java classes, but it's definitely going to be a lot more beginner friendly. So it's not going to be an exhaustive list of all the methods, but definitely the most useful ones. So you can hear they give you the method name, the type of return, right? The output of the method. Remember, some methods will output some information. So for example, if this is a Boolean type method, it's going to return true or false. Same with this one, true or false, true or false, true or false. This one returns a string because it's going to get the name. Oh, that's a getter and setter right there. Get name. So it returns the name of the file, or I should say it's a getter, right? An example of a getter or setter. Get absolute path, another getter. It's going to give me the path. So that's the full path of where the file is located. It's going to give me this one length is going to give me the, sorry, let me highlight that. It's going to return the size of the file in bytes. That's going to be a long type because those bytes can get really big over time, like megabytes, right? Gigabytes. When you convert it to bytes, it's going to be a really long number. Make directory, that's going to create a directory, so you can even do that with Java. So if you're familiar with directories, that's just another word for a folder in your file system. So yeah, this is the file class in W3. Definitely a little bit more user friendly. It even tells you how to use the file class. We're going to talk about this a little bit more, the import and then the object declaration. We'll talk about that in the next section on this lesson. It'll be on the next videos and slides. But let's check out the Java doc, because even though it's a little bit intense in terms of the class description, so this is the description of the class. If you scroll down to the bottom, so it tells you the fields. So it has the path separator. Whoops. Those are links to give you more information on the fields. Separator, so a little bit of details on the fields that it uses. Constructors, it's going to tell us how to declare an object in this class. So we've declared variables. We're also going to declare variables for custom classes, for non-primitive types. So we've done it for strings. We're going to do it as well for other non-primitive types. So string looks a little bit different. It's going to look a little bit more complex for some of these other standard libraries. But we'll get to that in the next sections. Let's go to the methods, because this is what I want to focus on. If you want to see every single method in the file class, the Java doc has an exhaustive list. Some of these are a little bit more obscure, right? Not as useful. That's why I still recommend W3 if you're first kind of like looking at documentation. That's definitely an easier beginner-friendly version. But this is still kind of the same thing as W3, right? It's going to give you the type of the output, the return of that method. It's going to give you the name of the method and the description. So let's see. Can I let me do a control find? Is there a method here that tells me if the file is a directory? So I'm gonna put directory. So I'm gonna scroll down. Here it is directory. So is directory, that's a good name because this tells me it's a Boolean return type. It's asking the question, is this a directory? So if you create a file object and then you do dot is directory, this method will return or output true or false, depending on whether or not it is a directory. It'll be true. If it's not a directory, false. If I want to check if it's a file, so directory is another word for folder, by the way, if you're unfamiliar. So if it's not a folder slash directory, then it must be a file. So I could do file dot is file, and then that'll tell me if that particular file is an actual file. If it's a directory, it's going to return false. If it is indeed a file, it'll return true. So it's going to output something. So yeah, these are the methods here. Now, not all of these return something. If you notice any of them that have a void return type, we're going to go into more detail when we get to functions. This one actually doesn't return anything. This void right here. If it tells me void for the return type, it means there is no output from this method. So if I try to set this equal to like a variable to store the output, there's really not going to be nothing that it outputs. It's going to be undefined. So request that the file or directory denoted by this path name be deleted when the virtual machine terminates. So this is a really specific one. I've never heard of this one, if I'm being honest. But just know it doesn't have a return type. That's kind of what I wanted to show you. So yeah, Javadoc, a little bit intimidating, but honestly, the method summary is still really useful. They even tell you the method types here, which is extra useful once we learn about static and instance methods. But if you want a more beginner friendly, right, you can definitely check out W3 schools. Just type in W3 into your search, the name of the class, right, and maybe put Java, just so it's clear that you're working on Java. Because they do have this for pretty much all the popular languages, C, C++. They have jQuery, PHP, Python, JavaScript, etc. All right, so that's the Javadoc, just kind of a quick overview. You're not gonna have to look at a million Javadocs in this class, but you will actually generate your own Javadoc when you start writing your own classes. So we're gonna learn that comment structure. So if you kind of write comments in a really specific way, it's gonna automatically generate this Javadoc for you, which is really cool. So it's nice and organized, right? It's divided into sections. As long as you do the comments the right way, this Javadoc will generate correctly for your custom classes once you start writing your own Java classes. So that's pretty much it on Javadoc. This is the end of the demo. We covered navigating to the Javadoc, the structure of the Javadoc, and how to read the Javadoc.